Here's head coach Blaine McCorkle as the Demons prepare for final game of the regular season, and this year we get to play that at home, and I know that's exciting, and we'll talk about that and all the senior day stuff that kind of goes along with that. But coach, obviously heartbreaking loss against Nichols on that Saturday. Um, as you digest that one a little bit more over the past couple of days, what stands out to you as the biggest sort of pride points that you take away? Because obviously there were a ton of them that you can look to, but what are the biggest ones you take away that
Yeah.
immediately translate?
Well, I think that the kids' effort and fight in that game was incredible. They were spent after that game. They put out a worthy effort, and they really played really hard. It was emotionally exhausting, physically exhausting. They put everything they had in it to try to win that game. So that's what I'm proud of. You're always proud of effort. That's one thing that you always preach and strive for, and that you really shouldn't have to teach after a certain time. But I think the thing that kind of goes with that is it was game 11 during a tough season. When it's a time of year when it would have been real easy to kind of shut it down and, we get down 12-0, just say, oh, here we go again. But our kids didn't, and the fact that they fought back, they took a lead twice in the game late in the year when you're not having a great season speaks to kind of their character and toughness. And I think that's the biggest takeaway that I'm proud of. And it does kind of reaffirm that all these young kids see the big picture and where we're going, and they know it's big picture long term and not about one individual season at one moment, even though in that moment you want to do everything you can to win games. They're trying to do something bigger, and they know that that's going to take time. So I think that's the biggest takeaway that I was kind of proud of leaving Thibodeau the other night.
Yeah. You mentioned the moments, and there were a ton of those moments throughout the game. You think of Ty's couple of catches, all the fourth down conversions, the would have been, should have been maybe interception that sets us up. But the definitely one I think stands out for me, because I talked to him about it earlier this year, was Colby Cage's interception at the end of the second quarter that stopped the drive, gave us, helped us keep the lead into halftime. And he's one of those senior guys this year that's going to, play in their last game. And I know you're excited for him to get that interception that I know he's been wanting for a long time.
Yeah, he's been a great addition to our team, and he's a fun kid to be around. He works hard every day. I think you probably need to write more articles about things guys need to do, because you write an article about him needing to get an interception, he gets an interception. So you might need to be a little bit more prophetic in your writing. But yeah, real happy for him. And he's one of the seniors that's leaving. He's only been with us a year, and he's just been a blessing to our program. Sometimes when you bring in a one-year guy, you're not real sure, how are they going to fit in? What's their motivation? How's it going to be if things get tough? But he's been incredible, and really excited for him to make that play. And we'll miss him after this week for sure.
Give me a sense of the entire senior group. Like I said, it's senior day on Thursday. And we talk a lot about the young guys, the freshmen, because that's what the majority of the team is. But those seniors, especially the ones that have been here for a couple of years, they've invested just as much. And down the road, whenever we are winning and this thing turns around, they're going to have just the amount of pride in it as I think those guys that'll be on the field then.
Yeah, and I think the ones that were here prior to our arrival, which is probably, we're having 12 seniors recognized, probably about half of them, I don't know, I have to do the math in my head here, were here prior to our arrival. And I think when they leave here, I think they can probably be as proud of their time at Northwestern State and saying that they played football here as anybody in the history of the school. And that sounds crazy because they haven't had any success, but what they've had to endure, what they went through, coaching changes, really, really rough seasons, the program being shut down, the loss of a teammate. When this thing gets going, they can look back with a lot of pride and know that they're a group that truly stuck it out at the roughest time in Northwestern State football history. And when we start winning, I think they're going to take a lot of pride in that. So it's a unique group, and it's kind of a unique perspective for them to take. But they all be as proud as anybody, when they leave here, to have played right here in Turpin Stadium in Natchitoches.
Let's get into the sort of X's and O's a little bit of this game. And no secret, Stephen F. Austin, they're conference champions. They secured that last week, and what they've done over really the past 9 weeks, they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're good. And they've secured a conference championship. They've secured the automatic bid. Congratulations to him. I'm happy for him. I texted Coach Carthel yesterday to tell him congrats. He didn't reply to my text, but that's on him. And whatever. I'll tell him congrats when I see him here Thursday night. But I'm sure he got a lot of texts, so I kind of get it. But he's a good guy, and I'm really happy for him and his program. We're rivals, and it's intense, and it's heated, and we don't like each other this week. But I do like him and his program, and I'm happy for him with that. But with that, we got one heck of a football team coming in here Thursday night, and there's not a weakness at any position. They're big, they're tough, they're physical, they're fun to watch play. and we've got our work cut out for us. So we've got to be simple in our approach. We've got to be really sound, and we've got to play really, really hard to try to push this thing in the fourth quarter like we did last week. And it'll be fun to see how you match up against a conference champ.
Last time we talked about at a game where we were close, didn't come away with the win, Lamar. It was easy. You said the talk outside of the program maybe got to him or whatever because so and so wasn't good or whatever the case may be. That's not the case. That's not the case this week.
No.
We have the confidence. I feel like a little bit, obviously, the heartbreak, but everybody, Stephen F is good. So that focus of we got to come out, I think, hopefully helps us this week.
Yeah, no doubt. I think games like Nichols, games like Houston Christian, games like Prairie View, if they don't do anything else, they kind of prove to our players that, hey, you are capable and you are worthy to be competitive in this league and at this level. And I think that even though those things haven't turned into wins, they should give our guys a lot of confidence that they can go out there on any given night and play. And in time, those things are going to turn into wins. So hopefully they can carry a little bit of that confidence and that swagger into this thing Thursday night. And I don't think they're going to back down. They haven't done that all year. We've had moments where we haven't played well, we haven't played consistent. But the one thing that has been consistent has been the attitude and the effort, and that's one thing that I'm really excited about. And you say, well, it's easy to say, but we wear these GPSs now. We kind of track the metrics, and they kind of prove that to be. And our kids continue to show up and put together a great effort. And there's no reason they shouldn't Thursday night because they got 9 months before we get to do it again.
And like I said at the beginning, one benefit is you get to play the last game of the season at home in your home place to try to keep that going, like I said, into spring and going forward.
Yeah, it's good to be at home. And we've done a lot of traveling this year for sure. And I don't think we've had back-to-back home games since we've been here. We won't, this year. But it'll be nice to have a Thursday night, in front of the home crowd. Hopefully it's a good crowd. Thursday nights, students are still here. No reason for people not to come out and show these 12 seniors some appreciation and continue to support these guys as they continue to grow.
Coach, as always, thank you for your time.
Thank you.